All right, everyone, welcome back. We are diving into some pretty important stuff today, even if it's not always the most exciting topic.
Yeah, maybe not the most thrilling, but definitely important.
Exactly. So we're talking inheritance tax, and specifically we're looking at these things called pension trusts.
Okay.
And we're going to try to figure out how they can potentially, help people minimize that tax burden that their loved ones might face down the line.
Right.
And to help us sort through all of this, we've got some really interesting excerpts from my pension advisor.
Yeah, they have some great stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, look, nobody really loves thinking about inheritance tax, right?
It's not exactly like a fun Friday night topic, you know?
But think about it this way. You've worked hard your whole life to build up your assets, right?
Absolutely.
Shouldn't you have some say in how those assets benefit the people you care about after you're gone?
100%. And especially now with inheritance tax on the rise, you really want to be proactive.
That's a good point. So let's put some numbers on that, because I know I saw some pretty startling figures in the source material.
Yeah, so families in the UK paid a record, get this 5.7 billion non-immaterial in inheritance tax just between April and November of last year.
Wow.
And that's a huge jump from previous years.
Yeah, that really puts it in perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we jump into all these strategies and stuff, let's just take a step back.
Okay.
What exactly is inheritance tax? For someone who's hearing about this for the first time.
Okay, so inheritance tax, or IHT, it's basically a 40% tax on the value of your estate.
Mm-hmm.
That exceeds a certain threshold, and right now that threshold is £325,000.
Okay.
Now, there is a potential increase to £500,000 if a family home is passed down to direct descendants, but there are some caveats there. The home has to be worth at least £175,000.
Right.
So it's not a simple equation, but even with that higher threshold, if you have a sizable estate, your loved ones could still be facing a pretty big tax bill.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's no wonder people are, kind of scrambling, looking for ways to reduce that tax burden.
Of course.
And I noticed in my pension advisor excerpts, they mentioned this thing called gifting as a common strategy.
Right.
So is that really as straightforward as it sounds? Can I just start, giving money away and problem solved?
Well, it can be a great tool, but it's not quite that simple.
Okay.
You really need to be strategic about it.
What do you mean?
So, for example, you can gift regular sums of money to your children every year.
Okay.
And that way you're making the most of your annual exemption.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could consider larger gifts, but maybe funnel those into a trust.
Oh, so that brings us to trusts. I have to admit, these things have always seemed a bit mysterious to me. All the legal mumbo jumbo,
Yeah, I get it.
But the source we're looking at, they actually compared a trust to a treasure chest, which I thought was a good analogy.
I love that analogy. I think it really captures the essence of what a trust is all about. It's about safeguarding your assets and making sure they are used in a way that benefits your beneficiaries, the people you choose.
Right.
So you're basically entrusting your assets to someone else, a trustee, to manage responsibly for your beneficiaries.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So how do pension trusts fit in all of this?
All right. So with pension trusts, we're talking about putting your pension assets into the special type of trust.
Right.
Now, normally when you pass away, those pension benefits would be considered part of your taxable estate.
Right.
But by putting them into a trust, you can potentially protect them from inheritance tax.
Interesting. And is that always the case? Because I feel like I've heard there's a time element involved.
You are right. There is a 7-year rule.
Well, there it is again.
So you generally need to live for 7 years after you set up that pension trust. And that's for those assets to be completely excluded from your estate for inheritance tax.
Got it. So 7 years is kind of the magic number, it seems.
It comes up a lot, yeah.
Okay, so let's say someone decides to set up a pension trust. What are their options? What different types of trusts are out there?
Yeah, so there are a couple of main types. You've got discretionary trusts, which give the trustee more flexibility in how and when they distribute the funds to the beneficiaries.
Okay.
And then there are fixed trusts where the terms are much stricter. So the beneficiaries and how much they receive, that's all predetermined from the start.
Got it. So it seems like choosing the right trustee is a really big deal.
Oh, absolutely.
But how do you even go about finding someone you can trust that much?
That's a great question. You really want to choose someone who you trust completely, someone with a good head for finances and who understands your wishes for your legacy.
Right.
So it could be a family member, it could be a close friend, or even a professional trustee.
Okay, so beyond the whole tax savings thing, what really resonates with me is this idea of leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
And our source, my pension advisor, they pointed out that something like 69% of their clients are motivated by wanting to leave something for their children.
That's a powerful statistic.
It is.
And it's not just about money, it's about the opportunities that inheritance can provide.
Right.
A better education, the chance to travel, the financial security to pursue their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
It's about empowering your loved ones to live their best lives.
That's a great way to put it. So
Yeah.
just thinking about that, like if you could ensure one specific thing for your loved ones, what would it be?
Wow, that's a big question. It really makes you think about what matters most, doesn't it?
It does. And, while this has been a great overview, I think it's pretty clear that this stuff can get complex.
Definitely.
It's probably a good idea to talk to an expert, right?
I would absolutely recommend it.
Okay.
A qualified financial advisor can help you personalize your plan and make sure it aligns with your specific goals and circumstances.
Right.
They can guide you through the complexities of trusts and gifting strategies and all those other tools that are out there.
Perfect. So for anyone listening who's intrigued and wants to learn more about pension trusts and their options, you can reach out to the experts at info@mypensionadvisor.co.uk.
They can offer personalized guidance and help you create a plan that works for you.
Awesome. Taking control of your legacy and financial future, that's empowering stuff.
It really is.
Well, with that, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of inheritance tax and pension trusts.
Yes.
Hopefully you're swimming away feeling a bit more informed about how these tools can help you protect your assets and provide for your loved ones.
Great.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep learning.